the ocean laden with merchandise, one coming in, the other going out. Many people on the shore praised the ship that was coming in. One individual wondered, why are you praising this one and not the other? They said, we're praising the ship coming in because we know that it went out in peace and returned in peace. And as to the one going out, we don't know what its fate will be. So too, when a person is born, we don't know what the nature of their deeds will be. But when a person departs this world, then we know what the nature of their life was. And after 90 years, Herschel ben Shlomo, a dear friend, Harold, returns his lofty and exalted neshama, his soul, to his Creator. And I'm truly honored and humbled to have the opportunity to officiate the funeral of this fine man. And for that, Rabbi Joel and Sheila and Fran, I thank you. In a few moments, Harold's son Joel will share some thoughts, as well as Howard Sandler. However, as Harold's rabbi for, I believe, the past 15 years or so, and as the one who had the great schus, the great merit, Fran, to officiate at your wedding to Harold about 10 years ago, I'd like to share 4 general personal reflections and memories about Harold. First, Harold was a man of integrity, and one of the keys to his personal integrity was his work ethic. Harold loved to work. I remember him beaming with pride and telling me about the full days that he would put in at the office. And Harold would put in full days of work, I believe, well into his 80s. And more than once, Harold told me, as he probably told you, stories about growing up in a big family with many sisters and brothers, and how he learned to take pride in working hard because when, as he said, you grow up in a family that's big, of modest means, you have to work. And I don't remember the story about the eggs. There was the story about the eggs. He would often tell the story about the eggs and picking the eggs or bringing the eggs to market. I don't remember what it was, but he must have told me that story 2 or 3 or 4 times, and just smiling with how from the earliest of ages he developed this work ethic. Harold understood the classic directive of our rabbis in Pirkei Avos, who say, Oheva Samalacha, which means love work and love working hard. And Harold realized that a person isn't in this world for rest and relaxation, but for labor and exertion. And your father, your husband, was acutely aware, though it's much more popular and tantalizing to chase after secrets, after quick fixes, magic pills, and hidden formulas. There's one problem with them. They don't actually work at delivering the results you want and the quality of life that you'd like to have. So this first thought that I share with you is that Harold adopted as a life philosophy the timeless words of Job, of Eo, who said, Ki adam amal yulad, that human beings are born to work. The second principle of living that in my mind, with which Harold is closely identified, is the beautiful philosophy expressed in Pirkei Avos, Ethics of the Fathers, where rabbis say, without Torah there is not derech eretz, and without derech eretz there is not Torah. Derech eretz, the second teaching from this Pirkei Avos, refers to good and positive character traits, ethics and manners, decency and civility. In other words, it means being a mensch. And if anybody could be described as a mensch, it would be Harold. Remember the TV show Everyone Loves Raymond? Well, everyone really loved Harold, and he was universally appreciated and admired in our synagogue and in the community. Why did everyone like Harold? There were just so many things to like about Harold. He was very quick to smile, he was tall, he was handsome, always impeccably dressed, especially his ties, and he had the warmest, most sincere handshake. Fran, you shared with me that everyone liked him. And even at the nursing home, you described him as a kind man who listened to everyone with a caring heart. And you even told me the story of a man who was 103 years old at the nursing home that Harold became friends with this person. But I think that the reason why we remember Harold as a mensch and why everybody loved him was that Herschel ben Shlomo, he was the Jewish version of Will Rogers, taking Rogers' famous statement to heart, I never met a man I didn't like. And when Harold Hoffman met you, he liked you. So how could you not like him back? This idea was expressed long before Will Rogers, though. Shlomo Melech, King Solomon, the name of Harold's father, wrote in the book of Proverbs, as water reflects a face back to face, so one's heart is reflected back to another. And when you looked into the face of Harold Hoffman, you felt warm. You saw a most gentle, pleasant smile of a man who really liked you. So how could you not like a man like that? A third quality I appreciated about Harold is that he was a loving, devoted husband to you, Fran. Obviously, my knowledge of him and your mother was non-existent. But Fran